The stars looked different today, John Winters thought. After 30 years in space service, he could tell. He stood at the wide window of Earth's main defense station and watched the giant alien ship. It had been there for 3 days now, hanging, in orbit like a knife held to Earth's throat. "They've sent the message again, Admiral," said Lisa, his communications officer. Her voice was steady, but her hands shook slightly. John nodded. "Play it." The large screen on the wall lit up. The face that appeared wasn't human. It had gray-blue skin, 4 yellow eyes, and a mouth full of small, sharp teeth. When it spoke, a computer changed its strange sounds into English. "Species of Earth," the alien said. "I am Supreme Commander Vex of the Vraxian Empire. Your world has resources we want and sits in a place we need. We are being kind. We will not take your world by force. Instead, you will give us 1/3 of everything your planet makes each year. Start with metals and living things. You have 1 galactic year to agree. If you do not, we will remove all life from your world. This is how peace works in the Vraxian Empire." The screen went dark. John looked around the room at Earth's leaders. 20 men and women from different countries sat at a round table, their faces showing fear, anger, and confusion. "This is the 5th time they've sent this message," John said. "They want an answer. We should give them what they want," said a man in an expensive suit. "We've seen their ship. It's bigger than anything we have. We can't fight them." "We can't just give in," shouted another leader, banging his fist on the table. "We fight." The room filled with loud voices. John let them argue. He had his own thoughts, but as military advisor, he would speak last. Samantha Rodriguez sat quietly at the far end of the table. As head of NASA, she rarely spoke at these meetings. When she finally stood up, the room went silent. "They don't know," she said. "Don't know what?" asked the president. Samantha walked to a small device on the table and pressed her hand to it. The lights dimmed, and a new image appeared on the screen. It showed a massive shipyard in space, hidden behind the moon. Hundreds of warships were being built there. "They don't know about this," she said. "Or this." The image changed to show another shipyard near Mars, then another near Jupiter's moon. "They don't know what we found on Mars 30 years ago," Samantha continued. "They don't know we discovered the ruins of an ancient alien base there. They don't know we used that technology to build our own ships and weapons." John felt a flicker of hope. He had helped keep this secret for decades. After the discovery on Mars in 2095, Earth's nations had made a rare decision: to work together in secret. They knew someday aliens might come, and they wanted to be ready. "How many ships do we have?" asked the Chinese premier. Samantha smiled. 500,000 combat-ready vessels hidden throughout our solar system, plus the defense platforms around Earth that look like regular space stations. The room went completely quiet. "That's impossible," someone finally said. "We would know. Only those with clearance know," John said, speaking at last. "The Mars discovery was kept secret because we found warnings there. Warnings about empires like the Vraxians that prey on developing worlds. We've been preparing ever since." The president stood up looking stunned. "You're telling me Earth has a secret fleet of 500,000 warships?" "Yes," Samantha said. "Built using technology far beyond what we show publicly. Ships that can travel faster than light. Weapons that can destroy planets. We've been mining the asteroid belt and the outer planets for resources, building in secret." "Why? Weren't we told?" demanded several leaders at once. "Security," John said simply. "The fewer who knew, the less chance the Vraxians or others would discover our preparations. Only key military and scientific personnel were informed." The president ran a hand through his gray hair. "So what are you suggesting? That we fight this empire?" John exchanged looks with Samantha. "We're suggesting we show them exactly what humanity has become." The meeting went on for hours. Plans were made, strategies discussed. In the end, they reached a decision. John and Samantha would coordinate Earth's response. 2 days later, John stood on the bridge of the USS Defender, Earth's largest visible warship. It wasn't much compared to their secret fleet, but the Vraxians didn't know that. "The alien commander has agreed to meet with us," said Captain Will Jackson. John straightened his uniform. "Good. Are our other plans in motion?" "Yes, sir. Ambassador Steve Gordon is preparing to visit the Vraxian ship with our official response. Meanwhile, our hidden fleets are getting into position." John smiled grimly. "The Vraxians think we're just another helpless world to bully. They have no idea what's coming." The meeting room on the Vraxian ship was cold and felt wrong to human senses. John sat across from Commander Vex, whose 4 yellow eyes studied him with obvious contempt. "Have you brought your surrender documents?" Vex asked. His translator made his voice sound metallic and hollow. "We've brought our response," John said carefully. "Earth has considered your demands. They are not demands. They are facts," Vex said. "You will provide tribute or you will die. Those are your only choices." John kept his face neutral. "We understand, but before we give our answer, we request one thing. Allow our ambassador to bring our formal response tomorrow. Our leaders wish to follow proper protocol." Vex made a sound that might have been laughter. "You primitives and your protocols. Very well. One more day changes nothing." Back on the Defender, John met with Samantha and Steve, who would act as Earth's ambassador. "Everything is ready," Samantha said. "The 100 old ships we're letting them see are being loaded with what looks like tribute. The Vraxians will think they're getting everything we have." "Meanwhile," Steve added, "our real fleet is in position, cloaked with the technology we developed from the Mars ruins. 500,000 ships ready to appear at your command." John looked out at the stars. Again. Somewhere out there, countless other worlds face the same choice Earth did now: surrender or die. But Earth had a third option. "Tomorrow," he said quietly, "the Vraxian Empire learns that humanity is not to be trifled with." As darkness fell over Earth that night, people looked up at the strange new star in the sky, the Vraxian ship, not knowing that by this time tomorrow the galaxy would never see humans the same way again. The Vraxians had demanded tribute. Earth was about to send them a very different answer. Ryan Hart had never been so busy in his life. The command center of Luna Base Alpha buzzed with activity as officers and technicians rushed to complete their tasks. Screens lined the walls, showing the positions of ships throughout the solar system. As commander of Earth's lunar operations, Ryan was responsible for coordinating the biggest military operation in human history. "Status report," he called out to the room. Kelly Brooks looked up from her station. She had dark circles under her eyes from working 3 days without much sleep. "The decoy fleet is ready, sir. 100 ships, all older models. They're loaded with enough metals and biological samples to look like we're giving up everything we have." Ryan nodded. "Good. The Vraxians need to believe we're surrendering." He walked to the central holographic display that showed Earth, the Moon, and the massive Vraxian ship hanging in orbit. "What about Ambassador Gordon's ship?" "The olive branch is prepared for launch," Kelly replied. "The ambassador will depart in 1 hour with our supposed surrender documents." Ryan studied the various screens around the room. Each showed different parts of their plan coming together. What the Vraxians couldn't see was the real activity happening throughout the solar system. Behind the moon, inside the asteroid belt, near the moons of Jupiter and Saturn, everywhere humanity's true fleet was moving into position. The door slid open, and Admiral Patricia Grant walked in. As commander of the Third Fleet, she was one of the most important military leaders in the solar system. "Colonel Hart," she said with a nod. "Are we on schedule?" "Yes, Admiral. The decoy fleet launches in 3 hours. The Vraxians will think it's our complete surrender." Patricia's face was serious. "And our real forces?" Ryan pressed a button, and the display changed to show the entire solar system. Tiny blue dots appeared everywhere, representing Earth's hidden warships moving into position. "All ships report. Ready. They'll remain in stealth mode until the signal." "Good," Patricia said. "This is the moment we've prepared for since finding the Mars ruins. We only get one chance to surprise them." Ryan remembered when he first learned about the ruins 30 years ago. He'd been a young officer then, shocked to discover that humans weren't alone in the universe. The ancient base on Mars had contained both warnings about empires like the Vraxians and technology, far beyond human understanding. Earth's nations had made the wise choice to keep everything secret while they built up their strength. "Do you think they suspect anything?" Kelly asked. Patricia shook her head. "Their scans show what we want them to see. A single advanced planet with limited space capabilities. They have no idea we've been hidden our true technology or that we've been mining the outer planets for decades. The most important technology they'd developed was the quantum stealth system. It allowed Earth's ships to move completely undetected, invisible to all known scanning methods. The Vraxians couldn't see the 500,000 warships surrounding them because, as far as their sensors were concerned, those ships simply didn't exist." Ryan watched as Ambassador Gordon's small ship departed Earth. On screen, it looked humble and non-threatening, perfect for their deception. "Ambassador Gordon is making contact with the Vraxian command ship," announced Lisa Freeman from Communications. "They're permitting him to dock." Ryan felt tension in his shoulders. This was the most dangerous part of their plan. If the Vraxians became suspicious too soon, they might attack Earth immediately. "Now we wait," he said quietly. 4 hours later, the 100 ships of the decoy fleet approached the Vraxian vessel. They moved slowly, like a defeated army surrendering its weapons. Inside each ship were minimal crews, volunteers who knew the risks but believed in the mission. "The decoy fleet is being scanned," Kelly reported. "The Vraxians are directing them to their docking bays." On another screen, they could see Ambassador Gordon meeting with Vraxian officials. The ambassador wore a small camera that transmitted everything back to Luna Base. The aliens towered over him, their 4 eyes studying him with obvious disdain. "I present Earth's formal response to your demands," Gordon was saying, offering a data device to the Vraxian commander. "We accept your terms and offer these ships as the first installment of our tribute." The Vraxian took the device. "Your submission is noted. Bring these resources into our hold for inspection." Ryan watched as the decoy ships were guided into the massive docking bays of the Vraxian vessel. Everything was going according to plan. The enemy believed they had won without a fight. "Signal from General Price," announced Lisa. "The Defiance is in position." The UES Defiance was humanity's most powerful warship, currently invisible less than 1,000 miles from the Vraxian vessel. General Alan Price, the overall commander of the operation, waited there for the perfect moment to reveal Earth's true strength. "All fleet commanders report ready," Ryan said after checking his displays. "We're just waiting for the ambassador's signal." Inside the Vraxian ship, Ambassador Gordon watched as alien inspectors examined the tribute materials. The Vraxian Emperor himself had arrived to view Earth's submission. Gordon pressed a hidden button on his sleeve, the signal they'd been waiting for. Back at Luna Base, Ryan saw the light flash on his console. "Signal received. The Emperor is present on the ship." Patricia's face showed grim satisfaction. "Perfect. Begin countdown to revelation." Ryan opened a secure channel to all fleet commanders. "This is Luna Base Alpha. Operation Shadow Strike is now active. All ships prepare to drop stealth fields on my mark." Throughout the solar system, the captains of 500,000 warships acknowledged the order. For 30 years, humanity had hidden its strength. In 3 minutes, the galaxy would learn the truth. "Countdown initiated," Ryan announced. 3 minutes until we show the Vraxians what humanity is truly capable of." On the main screen, the lone Vraxian ship still hung above Earth, unaware that it was completely surrounded. The Emperor was inspecting Earth's surrender, believing he had conquered another weak species without a fight. 2 minutes, Ryan said. Patricia stood straight, her eyes fixed on the display. "Send the message to all Earth governments. Tell them to be ready for whatever comes next." 1 minute. Kelly looked up from her station. "Sir, the Vraxian Emperor is declaring Earth an official tributary world of their empire." Ryan smiled for the first time that day. Let him enjoy the moment while it lasts. 30 seconds. Throughout the solar system, the engines of Earth's warships hummed with power as they prepared to drop their stealth fields. Weapon systems came online. Defense shields strengthened. 10-second, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ryan took a deep breath. Drop stealth fields. All ships, reveal yourselves. Across the void of space, 500,000 warships suddenly appeared, surrounding the Vraxian vessel in an inescapable net of firepower. The trap was sprung. Open a channel to the Vraxian ship, Ryan ordered. Let's introduce ourselves properly. General Alan Price stood on the bridge of the UES Defiance, watching as the stealth fields dropped from 500,000 human warships. All at once, they appeared in space around the lone Vraxian vessel. The sight took his breath away. For 30 years, he had helped build this fleet in secret. Now it was finally revealed. All ships report ready, sir, said Captain Olivia Taylor, standing beside him. No signs of alarm from the Vraxian vessel yet. Their sensors are just beginning to detect us. Alan nodded. On the main screen, he could see the Vraxian ship. It had seemed so large and frightening when it first appeared above Earth. Now, surrounded by humanity's true fleet, it looked small and vulnerable. Open a direct channel to our ships, Alan ordered. I want to address all commanders. Olivia pressed some buttons on her console. Channel open, sir. Alan took a deep breath. This is General Price to all ships. For 3 decades we have prepared for this day. We have built in secret, hidden our strength, and waited for the moment when we would be tested. That moment has come. The Vraxians came to Earth demanding we bow before them. Today we show them, and the galaxy, that humanity will never kneel to tyrants. Hold positions and await further orders. Across the solar system, the commanders of Earth's fleet acknowledged his words. Admiral Frank Morrison with the Jupiter Defense Group, Admiral Sharon White with the Martian Assault Division, Admiral Ben Jackson with the Saturn Contingent, all reported ready. They were linked through quantum communication systems, another technology they had developed from the Mars ruins. The Vraxian sensors have fully detected us now, reported Matt Kennedy, the Defiance's communications officer. They're trying to contact us on all frequencies. Alan smiled. Let them wait a moment. Let them understand what they're seeing. Inside the Vraxian ship, confusion had turned to panic. The Emperor stood in his command center, watching as his screens showed thousands upon thousands of warships appearing out of nowhere. His officers rushed around, shouting reports and questions. Ambassador Steve Gordon stood calmly in the middle of the chaos. Through his hidden camera, everyone on the Defiance could see what was happening inside the alien vessel. What trickery is this? The Emperor demanded, his 4 eyes blinking rapidly as he turned to Steve. Where did these ships come from? They've been here all along, Steve replied calmly. You just couldn't see them. The Emperor's skin darkened with anger. Impossible. No species has cloaking technology this advanced. We do, Steve said. We found it in the ruins on Mars 30 years ago. The same ruins that warned us about empires like yours. Alan watched this exchange with satisfaction. He turned to Olivia. Now we can answer them. Open a channel to the Vraxian ship. The main screen changed to show the Emperor's angry face. Human deception, he snarled. This changes nothing. The Vraxian Empire spans 1,000 worlds. Your fleet is impressive, but we have millions of ships. You cannot hope to win a war against us. Alan stepped forward so the Emperor could see him clearly. We're not starting a war, Emperor. We're preventing one. Look around you. Your ship is surrounded. Our weapons are aimed at you. Your life is in our hands. But we're not like you. We don't demand tribute from those weaker than us. The Emperor's eyes narrowed. What do you want? First, you will leave our solar system and never return, Alan said. Second, you will acknowledge Earth and all human colonies as sovereign territory, not to be interfered with by the Vraxian Empire. Third, you will provide us with star maps and information about other civilizations in our region of space. Dare to make demands of me? The Emperor hissed. Alan's expression didn't change. I'm not finished. To prove we're serious, I want you to look at your tactical display. He nodded to Matt, who pressed a button. Throughout Vraxian space, hundreds of human stealth ships dropped their cloaking fields. They had been positioned near key Vraxian worlds and military bases for years, watching and waiting. The Emperor's face showed shock as reports flooded in from his empire. "How is this possible? You've infiltrated our territory?" "We've been studying you for a long time," Alan said. "While you never bothered to truly understand us. Those ships have been in position for years. Each one carries weapons that could destroy an entire city. We could have attacked you at any time, but unlike you, we prefer peace." The Emperor was silent for a long moment. Finally, he spoke. "What guarantee do I have that you won't attack once I leave?" "The same guarantee we had when you came to our world demanding tribute," Alan replied. "None. But we're giving you a chance to leave in peace, which is more than you offered us." On the bridge of the Defiance, everyone waited in tense silence. This was the moment that would decide if there would be peace or war. Finally, the Emperor spoke. "I will consider your terms. Allow me to consult with my advisors." The screen went dark. Alan turned to his officers. "They'll try to stall for time. Keep all weapons locked on their ship. Monitor any transmissions they attempt to send." "Sir," said Matt, "Ambassador Gordon is signaling us. He says the Vraxians are discussing military options." Alan wasn't surprised. "Put the ambassador on screen." Steve's face appeared. He was speaking quietly, still inside the Vraxian ship. "General, they're talking about making a run for it. They believe they can jump to faster than light speed before our weapons can target them." "Thank you, Ambassador," Alan said. "Can you get to a safe location?" Steve nodded. "I'm heading for the docking bay now." Alan turned to his tactical officer. "Target their engine systems. Disable only, don't destroy." Throughout the human fleet, ships moved into new positions, surrounding the Vraxian vessel even more tightly. Their weapons powered up, glowing with energy. "The Vraxian ship is powering its engines," reported the tactical officer. "They're preparing to jump." Alan's voice was calm. "Fire." From 50 ships, precision energy beams struck the Vraxian vessel's engine sections. Explosions rippled across its hull as its power systems failed. The huge ship went dark for a moment before emergency systems came online. "Their engines are disabled," said the tactical officer. "They're dead in space." Alan opened the channel again. The Emperor's face appeared, now showing fear rather than anger. "That was unwise," Alan said. "Now shall we discuss terms again? Or would you prefer we continue this demonstration of human capabilities?" The Emperor's shoulders slumped slightly. "What are your terms?" As Alan outlined humanity's requirements, he felt a deep sense of satisfaction. For generations, species like the Vraxians had bullied and exploited developing worlds. Today, that pattern was broken. "One more thing," Alan said as he finished. "You will spread word to the other empires. Earth is not to be threatened. We are not conquerors, but we will defend ourselves in any world that asks for our protection." The Emperor reluctantly agreed. As the transmission ended, cheers erupted across the bridge of the Defiance. Similar celebrations were happening on ships throughout the human fleet. Humanity had faced its first galactic challenge. Instead of becoming slaves, they had emerged as a new power among the stars. Captain Nicole Reyes stood on the bridge of the UES Intrepid as it took position near the crippled Vraxian flagship. Through the large front window, she could see thousands of Earth ships surrounding the alien vessel. The sight still amazed her. For years, she had trained in secret, knowing this day might come. But seeing the full might of humanity's fleet displayed at once was breathtaking. "Status report," she said to her crew. "All systems normal, Captain," replied Eric Martinez, her chief engineer. "Our weapons remain locked on the Vraxian ship." Diane Nelson, tactical officer, added, "The Vraxian vessel is completely disabled. They have emergency power only. No weapon systems, no engines." Nicole nodded with satisfaction. The plan had worked perfectly. The Vraxians had come expecting to find a helpless planet. Instead, they found themselves trapped by the very people they had tried to bully. "Captain," called out Communications Officer Peter Wilson, "we're receiving a broadcast from Admiral Lewis. It's going to all ships." "Put it on screen," Nicole ordered. The image of Admiral Amanda Lewis appeared. As commander of Earth's United Fleet, she was now taking charge of the next phase. "Attention all ships," Admiral Lewis said. "The Vraxian Emperor has agreed to our terms. Ambassador Gordon is returning safely to his vessel. We will escort the Vraxian ship to the edge of our solar system once repairs to their engines are complete. This is a historic day for humanity." Nicole felt pride swell in her chest. She had been only a child when the Mars ruins were discovered. Her parents had worked on the early ships of Earth's secret fleet. Now she commanded one of those ships. "Captain," said Peter, "we're also receiving a live feed from inside the Vraxian ship. Ambassador Gordon's camera is still transmitting." "Show us," Nicole said. The screen changed to show the inside of the Vraxian vessel. Ambassador Gordon was walking through a large room where the Emperor sat with his advisors. Their conversation was being translated and broadcast to all Earth ships. "Your deception was clever," the Emperor was saying, his voice bitter. "But the Vraxian Empire won't forget this humiliation." "It wasn't deception," Gordon replied calmly. "We simply kept our capabilities private, as is our right. Your empire came to us with threats. We responded by showing you that threats against Earth are unwise." One of the Vraxian advisors spoke up. "How did you develop such technology so quickly? Our records show your species only achieved spaceflight less than a century ago." Gordon smiled. "We found help. The ruins on Mars contained technology and warnings left by an ancient race. They called themselves the progenitors. Does that name mean anything to you?" The Emperor's four eyes widened. "The progenitors are a myth, a story told about godlike beings who once ruled the galaxy." "Not a myth," Gordon said. "They were real, and they left their knowledge for us to find." On the bridge of the Intrepid, Nicole watched this exchange with interest. Few humans knew the full truth about the Mars ruins. She was one of them. The ruins had contained more than technology. They had contained a message. The progenitors had seen something coming, something that threatened the entire galaxy. They had hidden caches of their knowledge on thousands of worlds, hoping that the species who found them would use the technology wisely. "Captain," Diane interrupted. "We're detecting unusual energy readings from the Vraxian ship." Nicole frowned. "What kind of readings?" "It looks like they're trying to power up a hidden weapon system," Diane replied, her voice tense. "It wasn't on any of our scans before." Nicole immediately hit the comm button. "Intrepid to command. The Vraxian ship is activating some kind of concealed weapon. Request permission to take preventive action." Admiral Lewis responded instantly. "All ships target that energy signature, disable it, but try not to destroy the vessel." Nicole turned to Diane. "You heard the Admiral. Target the energy source and fire precision beams only." Throughout the fleet, ships adjusted their positions. Nicole watched as blue energy beams from 20 different vessels struck the Vraxian ship at the exact same spot. There was a flash of light, and part of the alien vessel's hull tore open, releasing a small explosion into space. On screen, they could see the Emperor stumble as his ship shook. His face showed shock, then fear. "Your hidden weapon has been neutralized," Admiral Lewis said over the open channel. "That was unwise, Emperor. We gave you a chance for peace." The Emperor's voice shook as he replied, "How did you know? That weapon was our most secret technology." "We've been studying your kind for decades," Admiral Lewis said. "There's very little about Vraxian ships we don't know." This wasn't entirely true, Nicole knew. They had gotten lucky. If Diane hadn't noticed the energy spike, the Vraxians might have managed to activate their weapon. It was a reminder that they couldn't become overconfident. Ambassador Gordon was being escorted to his ship now. The camera showed him walking through long hallways filled with Vraxian crew members who stared at him with a mixture of hate and fear. When he reached his vessel, he turned to the Vraxian officer escorting him. "Remember what you saw today," Gordon said. "Humans prefer peace, but we will always defend ourselves. Tell that to everyone you meet." Back on the Intrepid, Nicole gave new orders to her crew. "Take us to position Alpha 3. We'll be part of the escort when the Vraxian ship leaves our system." For the next few hours, Earth ships maintained their Positions around the Vraxian vessel. Engineers from several human ships helped repair the alien vessel's engines. Enough for it to leave, but not enough for it to pose a threat. Finally, the time came. The Vraxian ship, now repaired enough to travel, began to move slowly toward the edge of the solar system. 100 human vessels escorted it, the Intrepid among them. "They're increasing speed," Eric reported, "heading for the jump point beyond, Pluto's orbit." Nicole nodded. "Stay with them. Keep weapons locked until they're out of our system." As they passed the orbit of Neptune, Admiral Lewis's voice came over the comm again. "This is Admiral Lewis to all escort ships. We've received the signed agreement from the Vraxian Emperor. They've acknowledged Earth's sovereignty and promised to spread word of our capabilities to other empires." A cheer went up on the bridge of the Intrepid. Nicole allowed herself a small smile. Phase 1 of humanity's emergence onto the galactic stage had gone according to plan. But she knew this was just the beginning. "The Vraxian ship is preparing to jump to faster than light," Diane reported. Nicole watched as the alien vessel began to glow with energy. Then in a flash of light it was gone, racing back to the heart of its empire with news that would change how the galaxy viewed humans forever. "Set course for Earth," Nicole ordered. "Our job here is done." As the Intrepid turned back toward home, Nicole thought about what would come next. The galaxy now knew about humanity. The age of hiding was over. A new chapter in human history had begun. 6 months had passed since the day Earth revealed its true power to the galaxy. Prime Minister Gregory Mitchell stood at the podium in the United Nations building in New York. The room was packed with people from every nation on Earth. Leaders from the Moon and Mars colonies were there too. Everyone watched in silence as he picked up the pen. "Today we sign the Solar System Defense Treaty," he said, his voice clear and strong. "With this document, all human worlds agree to protect each other. We stand together as one people, ready to meet the challenges that lie ahead in the stars." He signed his name on the paper, then passed the pen to the next leader. One by one they added their signatures. When the last person finished, the room erupted in cheers and applause. High above Earth, Admiral Jill Henderson watched the ceremony on a screen. She stood at the window of Earth's largest space elevator, looking out at the planet below. The view was amazing. She could see the blue oceans, white clouds, and green and brown land masses of humanity's home. "It's beautiful, isn't it?" asked Lieutenant Jason Miller, who stood beside her. "Yes," Jill said, "and now it's safer than ever before." Below them, the massive industrial complexes that had been hidden for so long now operated in the open. Thousands of workers built ships and weapons and tools for space exploration. For 30 years, these factories had worked in secret. Now everyone knew about them. Was it the right choice? Jason asked. To reveal everything we had? Jill thought about this question. She had been part of the secret program since the beginning. She had helped find the ruins on Mars and understand the technology they contained. "Yes," she finally said. "Secrecy protected us when we were weak. But humanity isn't meant to hide forever. Now we can explore the stars openly, meet other species as equals, and help those who need protection." The elevator began to descend, taking them down to Earth's surface. Through other windows they could see the huge shaft stretching all the way to the ground. Space elevators like this one had been built in secret, hidden by advanced cloaking technology. Now they were visible to everyone, making travel between Earth and space easy and cheap. "The Vraxians have kept their promise so far," Jason said, looking at a data tablet. "They've told other empires about us. 3 smaller space nations have already sent messages asking for meetings." Jill nodded. "And our ships beyond the solar system? All report success. The stealth fleet near the Centauri system has made peaceful contact with the civilization there. They were being threatened by another empire and welcomed our help. This was exactly what the progenitors had hoped for when they left their knowledge on Mars. They wanted humans to become protectors, not conquerors. Their message had been clear. Use this power wisely. Help those who cannot help themselves." The elevator reached the ground, and Jill stepped out into the bright sunshine. A car waited to take her to the spaceport where her new ship was being prepared. The UES Horizon was the most advanced vessel ever built by human hands. Its mission was to explore beyond known space, to find other worlds and civilizations. As they drove, Jill saw people going about their daily lives. Most of them had only learned about the secret fleet 6 months ago. At first, there had been anger that such important information had been kept from the public. But when they understood the reason, to protect Earth until they were ready, most people accepted it. At the spaceport, Jill's team waited for her. 50 of Earth's best scientists, engineers, and soldiers would join her on the Horizon's first mission. They stood in a line as she approached. "Admiral on deck," someone called, and they all saluted. Jill returned the salute. "At ease. Is the ship ready?" "Yes, Admiral," said Commander Bill Johnson, her second in command. "All systems checked and double-checked. We can launch whenever you give the word." Jill looked past them at the massive ship sitting on the launch pad. It was beautiful, sleek, and powerful, with the blue Earth symbol painted on its side. Unlike the warships that had confronted the Vraxians, the Horizon was built for exploration and diplomacy. It still had weapons, of course. The galaxy was a dangerous place. But its main purpose was to make friends, not enemies. The Prime Minister's speech is finished, Bill said. He gave us the green light to begin our mission. Jill nodded. Then let's not keep the stars waiting. Board the ship and prepare for launch. As her team filed into the Horizon, Jill took one last look around. This was her home. This was what they had been protecting all these years. And now, they would take humanity's spirit out to the stars. Inside the ship, she took her place on Borlinorico, the bridge. The crew worked at their stations preparing for departure. On screens around the room, she could see other ships launching from Earth, the Moon, and Mars. Some were warships heading out to patrol the borders of human space. Others were science vessels or colony ships. "All systems ready, Admiral," Bill reported. "Awaiting your command." Jill sat in the captain's chair and pressed the communication button. "This is Admiral Henderson to Earth Control. The UES Horizon requests permission to depart." "Permission granted, Admiral," came the reply. "Good luck and safe journeys." Jill looked at her crew, all watching her with excitement and determination. "Take us up nice and easy." The Horizon lifted smoothly from the pad, rising through Earth's atmosphere. The blue sky darkened to black as they reached space. Soon, the beautiful blue planet was visible below them. "Set course for the Andromeda sector," Jill ordered. "Let's see what's out there." As the Horizon's engines powered up for the jump to faster-than-light speed, Jill thought about how far humanity had come. From a single world, afraid and alone, to a united people ready to take their place among the stars. The Vraxians had meant to make Earth a slave world, but instead, they had helped announce humanity's arrival on the galactic stage. "Engines at full power," reported the navigator. "Ready to jump on your command." Jill smiled. "Take us to the stars." In a flash of light, the Horizon disappeared from Earth's orbit, racing toward whatever waited beyond. Behind it, humanity continued to build and grow, no longer hiding their strength, no longer afraid of the darkness between the stars. The Vraxian Empire had demanded tribute. Earth had answered with warships, and now, the galaxy would never be the same again.